So welcome back. So we're going to talk about the 482 skill in demand in depth. So if you're just catching up on this video and you're thinking about coming to Australia, this video is for you. It's in a part series. So if you've not seen the first part, I've linked it in the description below. So go check that out where I did the overview of the different ways you can come to Australia by being sponsored by an Australia registered employer. It's important for you to consider this information. So let's get in. So I'm going to dive into the 482 skilled in demand visa. So you can see, and the basic eligibility requirement here, we'll get into more in depthly, but just overview is that you must be nominated for a skilled position by an approved sponsor. So it's not every company in Australia that can actually nominate you. So there's a process for an employer to actually get nomination. I'm dreaming where my company is able to get this license to be able to sponsor people overseas. I think that would be so great for me and it will be a major milestone. So I'm dreaming for that day and I'll be able to help people, bring people that are skilled overseas to work and add value in Australia. But for now, you need to check the list. I'll link the list in the video. So check the list of employers that can potentially nominate you in your skill area. And of course, you as an employee, you need to have the right skill to do the job. So think about it. This visa is because there's a labor shortage in Australia. Therefore, they need to hire overseas. So if your skill is not in shortage, it's going to be like so very difficult for the employer to justify nominating you because it's quite a process, expensive. There's a lot of documentation, compliance, obligation. So you must have high growth skill for an employer to sponsor you. Then you must meet relevant English language requirement. I think it's band 6 or so, but we will dive into. And this was what it was called before, TSS. You saw in the last video, it has been changed to Skilled in Demand Visa from December 7, 2024. So, but if you were already in the pool, like you've lodged your TSS application, you've seen the disclaimer here that you're not going to be affected. Now, what is this core skill stream visa 482? So this visa enables employer to address labor shortage by bringing in skilled workers where employer can source an appropriately skilled Australian worker. So the government are not going to do something that will harm the economy. So they will always prioritize people that are onshore, that have the right to work. Now, where there are skill and labor shortage, which in Australia, we always have skill issues, then the government wants to allow business to innovate and have opportunity to bring skills overseas to work in Australia. That's the whole essence of this visa. So a lot of immigration, they just go because they are focused on, making money. They just go talk about this visa on the surface. They don't really tell you the idea behind it, like the intent, the motive. If you don't know the motive, then you can't position, you can't optimize for the visa. You can't get into the psychology of, so when I'm applying or when I'm trying to position my application for this visa, what are the things that I need to put in my application so that I'm more desirable? Because you need to kind of like think about the fact that you want to beat everybody that is already onshore that's also applying to that job. Because if they find somebody that is equally skilled onshore, it just makes sense to hire onshore. They save money, they save time, they get to work. So please keep your profile updated, competitive, so much that the employers want to hire you. So that's an advice for you. Now, you can stay up to 4 years. And then people from Hong Kong, if you've got passport from Hong Kong, you can stay up to 5 years. And that's not the end. So you can also, before 5 years, ideally you should have been positioning to get or jump on other type of visa. That won't be a problem since you're going to have skills. So the cost of this visa is, you can see, is $3,115 and the processing time is there. So you can dive into that. The other stream of this 482 visa is the specially skilled stream. Now, this visa enables employers to address, again, labor shortage by bringing in skilled workers where employers can source an appropriate Australian worker. Same thing. And so you may say, hey, okay, what's the difference? So in the cost skills stream, this is your reference point. You need to look at this occupation and the cost skill occupation list. So you need to reference this, and there's more details for you here so we can go deeper. But I want to do a quick overview here first before we dive into the different streams. And in terms of the specialist streams, the same, pretty much same thing, just that your occupation needs to be in the Australian and New Zealand classification of occupation. ANSCO, I think ANSCO list, they call it. So you need to have a look. So pretty much if you have this link, you can navigate and drill down into the different links. It's the same price as well. And there's another stream called the labor agreement stream. So here, this visa is like an agreement between the government and some employers, right? They have a labor agreement. You can see it lets you live and work in Australia temporarily. So labor agreements are developed between Australian government and employer. So there's an agreement. The same thing, 4 years maximum stay, except you are from Hong Kong or you've got a passport, and it's pretty much the same price. Now, your employer has to have labor agreement with the Australian government in effect, not expired one, in effect. And we have the last 1 year, subsequent entrant. So this visa is for family members of the 458 and the subclass 48 who are applying separately for the skilled in demand visa and wish to join their primary subclass or 48 subclass visa in Australia. You can see you can stay as long as your visa is valid, same price. So it is for family members essentially of people that have 482 visa, like people that have any of these visa or the 457 visa. I'm not going to talk about 457 visa in this video. So that's just an overview of these different skill in demand visa that replace the TSS. So you need to understand that this visa has now been, like the TSS visa has now been broken down into this core skills stream, the specialist skills stream, and the labor agreement stream. Those are the major one, and then there's subsequent entrance for your family members. So essentially you need to stay in touch with the different requirements for these different streams. I would be diving deeper in the next video so that this video is not too long. So the next series, part 3, we'll be talking about core skills stream. So please subscribe to this channel if you're new so that you can catch up with the third stream. So if this video was valuable to you, you want to see part 2, even part 3, the entire series that will help you position yourself and be the standout candidate to get that visa sponsorship that you truly want. So subscribe to this channel, stay in tune with playlist. I'll see you in the next one.